and welcome to my channel. We are finally getting to the good part of Boys to Planet. And I say that because I absolutely love missions because we get to see more of the trainees, how the contestants interact and strategize. So I was pretty excited to watch this episode, and it wasn't super bad, but it did have a bit of pacing issues. Honestly, it would have been so much better without the 20 minutes of ads, because I guess it was a fun thing that the trainees were doing, but I was just like, ads, so I wasn't super engaged into it. It was very, very different from Boys Planet's iconic dance battles, or even Girls Planet's dance battles that we had also in this first mission. I don't know why they kicked that out. Also, talking about project placements, I'm very confused about how they got the North Face sponsor, but then have to keep blurring it. Did it only last for the first episode? I was so confused about that. I hate that they have to blur. It's like you give them uniforms, so this doesn't happen. So why is this happening? But I think we're getting to a better place overall, which I'm pretty happy, because episode 2 K version was terrible. Whoever edited that, it was horrible. I hated that, and I really needed to get off of my chest. I understand you might have problems because you had to hide Gonu and Woojin, but it was just absolutely terrible. Thank you for listening. Anyway, let's just get started into the episode and my thoughts about it. We start off with Hanbin and Junghao, and I really like their appearances this season. I wish we had something like this for Kepler last season, but I guess Kepler wasn't that famous. And we did get Zelting in the first 2 episodes for Planet C, so I guess that's a win. But anyways, I love how they're constantly being shown, how they're always appearing here and there in the show, so that makes me really happy, and it just makes me more excited to watch. Are we getting a Hanbin cameo here? Are we getting a Junghao cameo here? Who knows? Then we move on to the planets merging, and we see that there are way fewer C trainees than K trainees. This is explained by the extremely arbitrary rankings that they revealed. Now, I say arbitrary not because I want to sound fancy, because that is honestly a really hard word for me to pronounce, but because, let's be completely real and honest here, they are completely rigged by the judges' point system. I am so not over Hyop being eliminated. That doesn't make any sense. He had a pretty big amount of fan cam views, and I can't believe that the judges gave him less points than some people that are still there. I'm not gonna name names, but I'm sure that watching the missions next week, we can probably see a couple of people that shouldn't still be there. So all in all, I do believe that the judges unfairly and unjustly lowered his points, and also probably other trainees. I'm pretty sure Kai Jingxing, he had enough popularity and good enough talent to remain. It's just not obviously super talented like Hyop, who has extremely beautiful voice, but still, it applies. These rankings were before we even fan voted for any of the trainees from the first 2 weeks. It was before those votes were even added in. I believe those were only accounted for during the rankings that we saw in the beginning of this episode. So it's basically just the judges' own vision and Mnet's, I guess. So I can't criticize them for messing it up. I'm so pissed off at this, because if they wanted us to have any say on it, we should vote. Watching fan cams doesn't mean anything, especially when we didn't know not even half of the trainees. We hadn't seen some of these. There were 160 trainees altogether, and they want to take us into account somehow. That translates into anything without even telling us, It's just really shady, so arbitrary is a nice word to put for it. But anyways, we finally see people being ranked from 1 to 80. Yi Chen being in 80th place, and they all stand by all stars, then 2 stars, then 1 star, ordered in their respective number. And then comes the explanation of the mission. It is called 1v1, which also makes no sense, because 1v1 means one player versus another player. This is literally just team versus team. That's not 1v1. That's just called competition. Anyways, I do believe it is called 1v1 because in the very end, we have the votes in between who's the better main vocalist, who's the better rapper, sub-rapper 2, sub-rapper 3, and stuff like that, which becomes a 1v1. But essentially, it is a team fight because in the end, the team wins if the sum of the scores is bigger than the other team. So it is a team battle. Regardless, they explain how the teams must be formed within the ranking categories. You're gonna have all-star teams, 2-star teams, 1-star teams. Personally, I think this setup is because it kind of sabotages the all-stars. This is because the group is so stacked, it's really hard to shine, especially since there's a lot of famous trainees there. So if you're an all-star trainee and you're obviously talented, but you're not in the PD's good graces, then you're just really out of luck, which is what's gonna happen with Yoonmin next episode. You've been struck by a smooth
transition.
Yumeki was ranked first, so he got to pick his team first, and he picks his dream team, which is basically the strongest lineup, minus Kangmin, who had a broken arm, I think. I don't know what happened to him, if he twisted his wrist or his shoulder. They didn't explain anything about his broken arm, didn't say anything. It was just like, okay, he has a broken arm. Let's keep going. Not even that. They didn't even acknowledge his broken arm. Nobody even said, wow, it must be a struggle for him to dance with a broken arm. But indeed, Yumeki picked his dream lineup, which consisted of Sangwon, Lee Leo, Yoonmin, Soo Ching-gyu, Junso, and Angxing. We got to see Leo fanboying over Sangwon, which I think was admittedly cute. Then Kangmin picked his own team, and then all the leftover all-stars became a separate group, and each one of the 2-stars and 1-stars had their picks. The highlight was obviously Zihao and Suren. Zihao just like flinged onto him. They had this really cute bromance moments, and this is a great move to do if you want to have screen time. For any future contestants listening to this, take notes, because it makes sure that you are seen, because it's really hard for them to edit you in such a way, you coming there and being happy and whatever, without putting that in. And it's also pretty hard for them to evil edit you in that way. And it shows like a good thing. It shows like that you have friends and that you are like very social and just happy to be there. It's a nice look overall. After the teams were all picked, and these were the chosen teams, by the way, they revealed which songs they would be performing. Each of them were able to choose what song they wanted to do in order from all-star, the best ranked, until 1-star. And each time someone chose a team or a song, someone could challenge them and basically fight for that spot. I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that we don't have all-star versus all-star, because that would give an all-star team the benefits, because the benefits, from what I understood, can only go to 1-star or 2-star teams. Because if 2-star faces all-star, they have benefits. If 2-star faces 2-star, they have benefits. 2-star faces 1-star, they don't have benefits and win, obviously. So anyways, being in an all-star team at this point as an unknown trainee, terrible place to be, which is why you should vote for Yoonmin. Quick intermission. If you don't have anyone to vote for, vote Yoonmin. Do you want to vote for talent? Vote Yoonmin. He can sing, rap, dance, and self-produce. Want to piss off Mnet? Want to put someone there who they don't want to debut? Vote Yoonmin. Want to have an interesting debut lineup where there is a dark horse who nobody expected? Vote Yoonmin. Want to give someone a little bit of promotion because it is impossible to find his name on Twitter because he is the name of one of the most famous BTS ships? Vote Yoonmin. Thank you. Intermission is over. Getting back to the point, Yumeki chose Whiplash, Kangmin's team chose S-Class, and the other all-star team chose Plot Twist. So they all chose different songs, which I don't appreciate, because all-star versus all-star is a lot more intense and just brings better content. I feel like most of what we're gonna see is going to be pretty predictable, I assume. Like, I want to Love Me Right, K versus Global Group. That's what I wanted, and then I don't think they're giving it to me. Though I think we could see that with Plot Twist team. After all teams choosing their own songs, we got some group dynamics. Basically them choosing who's going to be the leader, their positions, fighting for positions. This season, leaders have like the ultimate power, so they can choose everything. They have the hand in every decision. If someone wants to be a main vocalist, the whole team agrees, but the leader, that person won't be the main vocalist. So we see some trouble brewing, especially in the one-star plot twist team with Jung Lee Jung's whole plan of having Liu being the killing part, but Yi Chen stepping up and wanting to be the killing part and getting the killing part, because from what was shown, he did a lot better than Liu. Honestly, Liu couldn't hit the notes. Yi Chen did perfectly, sang perfectly, all notes. So we're gonna see how that develops in the next episode, but this kind of stuff. We also had Christian telling Show that he was too tiny to be the main rapper, which I think is so funny, but it's also just like, oh, I'm not gonna give you ulcers because you're fat vibes. Like, it's just that, but re-rendered. I understand the point, but saying like, oh, you're too tiny to be a main rapper. Like, if you're main rapper, you're main rapper. And Show didn't even get to showcase his skills. So as much as Show is this overconfident guy that thinks he's better than everyone from what was shown, I do think he was in the right tier, because he didn't even see him rapping. I mean, he could have rapped pretty well. And I think when we heard him rapping, he did a pretty good job. So that was that. We also had some funny parts, which was the Rising Sun main vocalist. So we have Hengyu getting the main vocalist, like, get it, boy. And then we have Yusun applying for main vocalist position, and a little bit of someone's screen time of him saying, be main vocalist. And then him just being compared as a siren, and just giving me flashback to Mingyu singing super loud and Ganok looking back at him like, what the heck is happening? 남자가 사랑할 땐 Who is that? 나는 참 빠르게 가 마음만 조급해져가고. Like, the way they made it out is funny, and I imagine him singing that like the whole time, and somehow his throat's not giving in. But I also think, like, Mnet, let the boy train. Like, if he can't practice, how is he gonna nail the notes? Let him practice. But it was funny. I also was happy with the Sowen screen time, because I like Sowen. Then we take a look into S Class, which is the performance that we get to see both teams. In this episode, we have this really weird editing of Minjae, like him just wanting to be a dictator, basically, him being the leader and deciding everyone's roles without having anyone apply. Which, while watching, I was just thinking, Minjae, did you never watch a reality show before? Did you never watch Girls Planet, Boys Planet, Produce Whatever? Did you not watch anything? Because this is the one thing you shouldn't do. You shouldn't portray yourself as a dictator. You shouldn't want to control everyone's positions, especially trying to highlight yourself, because it comes out as, I want to get the killing parts and you guys can like fend for yourselves. Even if he actually chose the right part for each of them, it is not the right way to do stuff, because you need to think about how you're going to be portrayed. Anyway, so it was a weird editing for him, because after he performs, he's just so good that like you don't even care that he was a dictator, because he was great, he was sexy, he had his arm out, really nice looking arm, I might say. But this part where they're trying to understand who is going to be main vocalist, who will be that, who will be this, and he just listens to them and distributes it without even knowing them, it was a little iffy. It wasn't a good look for him. Though I don't think he was a full loser, because they showed his performance and showed how good he was and how he had to be the killing part, because he's just better. They also show the other S Class, how they voted really fast. And then we had Gyehyun being leader, and I must say Gyehyun is also so underrated. He is such a good vocalist. He did amazing in the star level test or audition, whatever you might call it. He was so good. I think he was perfect, and then he doesn't get any screen time whatsoever. But anyways, he was leader of this team, and Junmin got the killing part. And the focus of S Class All-Star group is in Inhu, who I don't remember. I remember seeing his star level test and being like, okay, he's good, but it wasn't someone that was in my mind or anything like that, especially in comparison to the other guys. Here, like, we have Dongyu, who gave a really strong impression in the first episode, who also got a lot of screen time there. We have Shihwan, who also got a little bit of screen time in episode 1, who also is a controversial figure, but Mnet doesn't seem below or above giving controversial people screen time. So I thought it would mostly be around them. But no, we got Inhu's screen time, because in those shows, or especially in those kind of missions, the storylines that they like showcasing us is the person who struggled. So the person who didn't get the part they wanted, the person who did the drama, the person who wasn't good enough when the judges were watching in the middle of the week, so before the performance. Being in that position is good sometimes because you get this screen time, but sometimes they could also flip it as evil editing if you don't do a good job in the end. So if you want some screen time, I would suggest do badly at first, but at the same time do well in the end. But how can you do both consistently? It's a little hard. They showed us that they like Dongyu a little bit because we got to see and Shihwan and even Kaiwen, like everyone that they liked, even when picking the teammates and stuff like that, they said like, oh, Kaiwen, and then they gave like, who is Kaiwen, or who is Angshin, or who is this person? So they gave a little backstory for us to remember who's who, because there's so many trainees and they cut off half of them, but still there were so many trainees in our minds. Obviously we can't remember all of them, so they reinforced who they wanted. So all the people they gave this little flashback to, like the intro stage or a flashback to something else, are people that are in the bucket of trainees that Mnet would be fine with debuting or even wants to debut. So I would put Shihwan and Dongyu in this bucket despite them not getting that much screen time. I don't even know what Shihwan's placement was. Hopefully he is not making it to the next round, but Dongyu I'm sure will pass to the next round. So Dongyu might be someone that we will probably see in the finals and maybe even in the debut line. Random, but S-Class is just such a shitty song for the first mission because it's not a song that you can showcase vocals, and not that many people can rap well enough to fit the song. So I feel like the song choice there, not really good. In fact, terrible. The main vocalist in this one doesn't do that much, doesn't showcase that much, and any other vocalist, they need to rap as well. So it's not that easy of a song for you to perform, and I don't think it fits the show that well. I like a song that's more balanced. So like we have rap section, we have singing section, like Love Me Right. Love Me Right was just so perfect in the first mission that I can't help but talk about it again and again and again. But we had a section for rap, a section for another rap. We had vocals, then we had the killing part, and then we had main vocalists doing their own thing. Like it was very perfectly structured for every kind of trainee. So I feel like maybe BTS songs would be better, EXO songs would be better, groups that have specific, like, okay, we have rappers, we have vocalists, and we have the whole K-pop thematic. Like Twice songs are also pretty good for these kind of shows. Like I still love Mission 1, Girls Planet, Yes or Yes. Anyways, there was also a soft Evo editing of Kangmin, him saying like, you have to make a choice, and then it make it seem like the team was awkward and stuff like that, which I agree with him. You have to make a choice, pack it up, choose what you want. We have to practice, but it didn't look good because they edited it. Like it was a really minor edit thing, but still. And I was happy that I got to see someone being very supportive and being like, oh, you should try this, you should try that. He didn't get a lot of screen time regarding his talents, but his character shows. Then we take a look into Whiplash's team, All-Star, and them trying for the killing part. And I'm gonna say, from what we saw, I liked Angshin the best. And also it was really funny that he was like, yeah, just call me Xing, and that is like being God, and people were just commenting God Angshin in the live chat, and I thought that was really funny. I thought Angshin kind of fits the vibe better, a lot more than Ganu. I don't even know why they said Ganu was a good one, because he is a competent performer, but definitely not sexy or charismatic or anything like that. So I would have chosen Angshin. I wouldn't have chosen Sangwon, but they chose Sangwon in the end. Leo kind of seemed like a visionary leader there more than Yumeki. And they also chose Ganu for main rapper because Leo had this vision that he would open up the show better instead of Yoonmin, which I'm a little hurt about because Yoonmin got like sub rapper too when he could be main vocalist, when he could be main rapper. and he's just doomed. But regardless, they picked everything pretty nicely. We had this little view in how their dynamics work. It didn't seem to have any problems. And we had my favorite part, the 1-star team of Whiplash just saying like, guys, let's have fun and go home. And someone saying, if they're Team Avengers, we're Team Thanos. And I thought that was like a good way to see it. Also creative, because every time we have a survival show, we always have Team Avengers. Like, can we get over it and call them something else? I really like the energy of their team. I think despite them probably mostly all being eliminated, I think the energy was nice. I liked how they were all disappointed, but they were like, oh, I got all stars in the intro stage, if that counts for anything. And then other people were like, oh, I also got that. I also got all-stars, so they kind of were happy about it. And obviously, there's no way they're going to win because Sungwon is in the other team and, like, famous trainees. So even if they did better, which is very hard, but even if they did, I don't think they would win. But I think it's cute, you know? And we had, like, this dance battle between Rensho and Yumeki, which was pretty funny. We also take a look into the Whiplash team practicing, and we have good screen time for Yumeki, where he just and learns the choreography in an instant and passes through the other guys, and then they have the formations ready in like 5 seconds from the editing. Whereas the other team, so the 1-star team, has Rensho, who is the one who performed Misfit with Dongyu and has really big arms. I might like arms a little bit too much because I mentioned arms like twice in this video already. But Rensho's the nice arms guy, and he's ready to learn the dance, and then he's just like, what am I even doing? Is this right? Honestly, I'm more curious to see what Whiplash Team 1-star has to show us than Team All-Star, because I know Team All-Star is going to do well. And Team 1-star has some really talented people as well. Like, we have Junghyuk from MCND. We have Rensho, who dances really well. I don't think he can sing that well, but he got Sub Rapper 3, so he won't even get that many lines. We have Zayi. I'm pretty curious to see what they cook up. Then we get the trainees talking inside their rooms, stuff like that. And then we get to see the first performance. So we see the whole storyline between S-Class 1-star is the main vocalist, Hanwon. The judges tell him that he sucks and tell Minjae that he should change it, and then they don't change it, and then he cries because he's so grateful for getting main vocalist, and he's so cute. And they make him seem like he did a lot worse than he actually did. But anyways, we get to see Minjae kind of coaching him and clapping and keep clapping like, sing. And the clip itself is so funny, but also so awkward. This part is like a good edit for Minjae. So I think Minjae's edit wasn't so bad overall. That's why he wasn't a loser. And they perform. I'm not going to dwell too much on their performance because I'll probably make a video separately on all the performances. But they did well. I think Minjae's outfit was like super on your face that I couldn't look to anyone else. Like, my eyes were on Minjae the whole time, and he was amazing. So everyone else who had a highlight or something, I couldn't even see them. Then we got to see the other S-Class team, and again, it was focused on Inhu and his struggles, and then him gaining confidence with the group. And I think in the end, he was amazing in his own performance. I do think the Killing Part Junmin got an outfit that is less contrasting to the other ones, despite him being in a lighter tone and the other ones being in a darker tone. Minjae being in the darker tone and everyone else being full white just made him stand out so much. So that was that. We also got to see how the process behind the mission worked. So in the first S-Class team, so 1-star, we got to see the judges like monitoring them and having like this mid-phase criticism. And we also got to see the trainees themselves presenting to the other trainees and having evaluations and then having this feedback. Finally, we saw that Team All-Star won from 910 points versus 600 points. So it was a big difference. And we got to see Kanye fangirling for Junmin, which was pretty fun. I don't even imagine how much he's going to fangirl for Junso. So I'm very, very excited to see that. And then our third and last performance, which was something that was a little bit upsetting to me because I wanted to see more performances. Because we're going to have to see 7 performances next week. because we have 10 groups. Like, that's just too many performances for next week. No, they could have put in 5 and 5 or like 4 and 6, but they did 3. Anyways, the plot twist team, which I didn't speak about at all until now, all-star team, was mainly focused on Singlong not wanting to do this song because he doesn't fit the vibe that well, and him just struggling in accepting that and like, I'm having to do a song that I don't fit in. I wanted to be the leader and I wasn't because they wanted someone already debuted to be leader. That is so sad. That is like, they don't even know I'm debuted. Like, that would hurt. I think this edit didn't look super nice overall to Hyunjun. It wasn't like super in your face, like, oh my gosh, he's evil. But it was a little bit like, oh, Hyunjun wanted to do a plot twist because he wasn't worried about his vocals and his image, and then he got the killing part. So it's like he wanted the song for himself, which honestly, it's right. If I were there, I would also want a song that would fit me. Jinglong also wanted a song that fits him, obviously, so that's why he wanted S-Class, and a song that he liked probably as well. So I don't think he is wrong, but it does look a little like iffy, you know, like it doesn't look that good for him. It wasn't an evil edit per se, but they had like a lot of trainees who would have fit S-Class, and then they didn't do S-Class. So there's that. Obviously, it wasn't just Hyunjun who did the decision, but I think since he got the killing part, it looked worse on him. But again, I don't think it is something that is wrong of him or nothing like that. I'm just saying like the edits kind of makes your mind go towards that. Regardless, we got a really cute Jinglong and Yunso moments. So basically, Jinglong was sad, just disheartened about not having the song he wanted, not having the leader he wanted, not having the part he wanted, having like 4 seconds, which until this day, I do not get, like, why do they even have a part which is 4 seconds? At least give people, like, I don't know, 8 seconds. I think with 8 seconds you can shine. But 4 seconds, it is pretty unfair. But it is Mnet. They're not going to change that. Every song has like 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Mashiro even got like 3 seconds in one of the last Girls Planet thing. So it happens. It is disheartening. And it was really cute because Yunso is like a lot younger and a lot more like animated. And he had all this energy. And he talked to Jinglong. And the whole story is just basically Jinglong seeing his younger self in Yunso and just gaining back his passion. And it's really cute. And I think this is an amazing week for Jinglong. I think he's definitely one of the C trainees that has a solid chance to debut right now after this whole episode and doing a good job in the live. Despite not having that many parts, he was really eye-catching and he's just really talented overall and sweet, and we got to see a lot of facets to him. I think overall this was a really good week for him. Out of everyone in this episode, I think Jinglong had the best outcome and the best edit so far, and it shows in the results. Like, everyone is talking about him, everyone's saying how cute the situation was, how he was able to do well despite everything. Overall, that's like the perfect story arc to have, because you have struggling, you have doing well in the performance, you have bonding with other trainees. It's just overall checking all the boxes into what to do. And that was it. We got a little bit of, what is going to happen in the plot twist team. We saw that the killing part changes from Yichen to Liu, and it sets up that conflict because Lee Jong essentially wanted Liu to be the killing part, and he visualized that in his head, and he had the vision with the team. And Yichen didn't really corroborate to this vision, though there wasn't any communication from what we've seen. That Lee Jong was like, okay guys, I want Liu to be the killing part, let's just have him be the killing part, despite him not showcasing that he had the skills at the moment that they both tried out. Like, he is the leader, so he could take the decision himself and just stick to it. But he decided giving Yichen the chance. And then in the very end of the episode, they had this like, you're not coming to practices and stuff like that, and just like weird atmosphere. And Lee Jong seeming a little bit mad, talking to Yichen about it, and Yichen being like, well, when we practice I follow along. So it seems like Yichen is gonna get an evil edit. That's what I'm assuming. We have seen Leo getting very nice screen time. He is shown as introverted, anxious, as someone who's more closed off, so he's very relatable in a sense, and that is definitely positive screen time. So I assume, from how we know Mnet and how we know how they treat sea trainees. And seeing that Liu is already really high, they probably want to secure Leo the spot. But the whole thing is just so ridiculous. So I don't know what to think about it yet, because we didn't see the whole conclusion. Yeah, they're going to find a reason for the change in killing part. I assume that the judges are going to say the performance was really good, but you know who would be better as a center? Liu, because he has a refreshing look to him and he fits the concept better. They're not going to say Yichin sucked. I don't think he's going to suck, because from what we were shown, skillfully, he did a lot better than Liu. And I don't think he doesn't look refreshing. He looks like cute. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what to think about that yet. We're going to see it next week. And we end up the episode here, and so does the video end. We got to see a little sneak peek also of Angxing like having a hard time being main vocalist, which gives us a little bit of anxiety to watch Whiplash. But we're going to see how all of that is going to unfold in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you listened until here, this entire podcast, you have my heart. Please try to vote Yoonmin. I'm sorry I rambled about him too much, but it's like, my guy, you know, my guy. I already accepted defeat, but, you know, maybe like 10 people, 100 people decide to vote him. So I need to take my chances. Anyways, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also comment what you thought about the episode. What were the highlights for you? And feel free to comment down below which performance you're most excited to watch next week. I'm excited to watch Kill the Romeo with the sexy guy, because I think it's going to be pretty nice. And I'm very curious to their group dynamics. We didn't get to see much from the Kill the Romeo people, so I'm curious about that. So that was it. Have a great week. Bye-bye.